Hi folks, on this episode of Hit the Mahogany, we're going to do a cocktail that basically the Japanese have actually turned into a fine art, but it's something that you can get, of course, globally. If you can tell by the drinks in front of us and the fact that there don't seem to appear too many mixers, what we are going to be doing is a Whisky Highball. Alright, I'm actually going to be doing this one. I'm going to split this one over a couple of nights because I want to enjoy each one of these, but I'm going to be doing 4. I'm going to be using the Centauri Whiskey. It's Japanese, you know. We'll then flip over to a bourbon, so we'll get a bit of that American twang into this one as well. We'll try one of those. Then what we'll do is we'll use a blended, I was going to say Scotch there. We'll use a blended whiskey, Scotch whiskey. And then what we'll do is we'll see what one tastes like with something from one of the island malts. I was thinking about the Kalila there, but you know what, the Ardbeg Kalila is one of my favourites actually as well. One of the many, actually anything that's liquid in alcohol is one of my favourites. But we'll also try the Ardbeg, which is much heavier in the peat and smoke, and we'll see how that works out as well. Alright, you may think a highball is basically just some kind of spirit that's then diluted with a mixer. You know, your Jack Daniels and Coke, a Tanqueray and gin, or a Tanqueray and gin, yeah, that would be nice. A gin and tonic. They're all just a highball, one way or another. And you're just changing the ratios of the mixture. Now, what's important though, is the water that you're putting in there. If you think about a whiskey highball and you're like, it's just going to taste like watered down whiskey. And I've made that mistake, even some of the mojitos that I've made. For some reason, it's just like, why does it just taste like watered down rum that tastes a little bit like mint? So the water is extremely important here. And for this, because it's a whiskey soda, you're actually wanting to use soda water or club soda. Not seltzer, not just plain sparkling water. Now, there's a few reasons for that. Club soda actually has, depending on which brand, it has additional ingredients added to it. It's actually got additional minerals in it. That could be potassium sulfate, it could be sodium chloride, some of them use salt, it could be disodium phosphate, or it could be bicarbonate of soda. Those are the 4 that are generally actually used. Now, Fever Tree that we've got here uses bicarbonate of soda, and so does Schweppes as well actually. They appear to use bicarbonate of soda as well. Taste these by themselves and you'll understand if you just get regular fizzy water versus club soda, you'll be able to taste the difference. Now you might get, so seltzers, you know, you're not getting the mineral aspect. The minerals within the water can draw out more of the flavours. Why do you season your steak? Why do you add seasoning? It's all extracting that flavour and how the taste buds react to that. Exactly the same with club soda as well. Now mineral water, sparkling mineral water, generally they're naturally carbonated, but again, if you find one that you like, then certainly try it. And then of course, one that you don't want to use, of course, is tonic water, because that's got quinine in it and that's not really going to work too well with this. You could give it a shot though, maybe something to try at some point. Now also the carbonation is very important. You want everything chilled as much as possible. Remember, CO2 is gaseous. It means it's got a lower boiling point. So the lower you keep the temperature down in your drink, the longer that carbonation stays in there. And also the size of the carbonation. I don't know if you've had it. So let's say let's say you're using your Soda Stream or something like that. Perfectly good at making seltzer water. You know, definitely. But what happens when you taste it? And it's a difficult one to explain, but the bubbles are large. When you drink it, it's almost like a coarseness. Yes, it's fizzy. But think of that compared to something like champagne. Smaller bubbles, delicate, effervescent, they bounce over the tongue. That's what you're looking for in this. So the fact that you've got a very cold drink, it's got minerals added to it, and the carbonation, the size of the bubbles themselves and the way it's been carbonated is very small. It means it does not taste, it doesn't taste just like watered down whiskey. Okay, so that's your water. Good grief, who would have thought there'd been so much into a little bit of H2O, you know? Okay, let's get into actually making this. Centauri, they actually have, would you believe, a toki machine, which is specifically designed to dispense the perfect ratio of whiskey to club soda at the right temperature, and it's just amazing. Of course, I think you can change the dial in it now. There's a bar in Brooklyn, as I was doing a little bit of reading up on this. They actually have a Toki machine. It's what the hell is it called? Kinfolk. There we go. It's Kinfolk, Brooklyn, New York. I haven't been there, so I'm going to have to get over there at some point in time. Now, Centauri Whiskey. As you can see, I've already been drinking some of this. I haven't used this actually in any cocktails. So I actually quite enjoy this one, neat as a sipping one. I'll generally do it with 1 cube of ice. It's very light, it's using white oak. It's not got, there's not a strong tannin in it. But there's a lot of that kind of, it's actually a mixture of 3 different whiskies. But there's almost like a flowery botanical flavour to it as well. It's actually really, really nice. Now, of course, it's the whiskies they use, non-age statement, so you don't know how old they are, but I know it's a blend of 3 anyway. Now, the great thing here is, now that I've been trying this out, and also the Centauri, the Hibiki, that's definitely a really good one to try as well. And then if you're into the gins, try the Roku gin as well. And as I'd been trying to learn Japanese, and I did get some way with it, but it's very challenging, definitely, and I've taken a few months off, actually, not through any of the teaching, but just slow, older, bit challenged. But of course, Roku, if you think about the gin, Roku is Japanese for 6, that's because of the 6 additional botanicals they have in there. Woohoo! And I thought, oh, Toki, that's great, I know that word as well. This is, that's for bird. And then I realised, I was thinking, is it? No, Tori's bird. Toki is for time. So clearly they're talking about some form of aging here with this. Anytime that I've been over to Japan, love trying the beers, whether it's Sapporo, Isubu, anything over there. Just really like trying all the beers. They're really good. Some better than others, but I've enjoyed it. Also, just while I'm talking about this, I'm off on a rant here, or not a rant, on a ramble. So in addition to the beers, I've liked trying the sake over there as well. I don't know, well, I have an idea of what a good and a bad sake is, but all the different regions, no idea across that. But I do know that, certainly like the sake from the Kyoto area, there's a floral flavour to it, just excellent the way they've treated the rice, clearly, but they're almost like a champagne, a little bit sparkly in there as well. And I did get a chance to go to a bar with my friend over there to try some aged sake. Completely different. Almost talking about something that's like a whiskey or a port, something that's been aged in, barrels. Just absolutely fantastic. Completely different facet to the actual drink itself. They know how to do their drinks. So the next time I get over there, I want to start hitting the distilleries. I haven't been to any of the distilleries, and I actually haven't been to any of the sake breweries either. So certainly something else to try, and certainly looking forward to it. My tattoo artist, Horizaru-san, who is in Tabata in Tokyo, in the Tabata area in Tokyo, I want to get back over there. I started the other part of a tattoo just before, depending on when you're watching this, just before COVID, and haven't been able to get it finished. So I've got many reasons to get over there, and just looking forward to that as well. All right, enough of that. Let's get into making this. Now, when you actually look into, particularly the way the Japanese allegedly do it, they put in a couple of ice cubes, spin it for 13.5 times clockwise, and then you tip it out. Now, the best way, in all honesty, like any martini glass, I mentioned cold, you want just the glass chilled down. So I had some ice and water in here already, just chilling the glass down, okay? Get rid of that. All right, ice. Get yourself king cubes. Now, the king cube itself may not fit into your highball glass, so only fill it up halfway, and or your ice mold. That way you'll be able to get it in here. Now, the reason you're using this ice means that you're controlling the dilution, you're still keeping it chilled as much as possible, okay? Now, the perfect ratio, or one of the ratios, you can adjust this. If you want stronger whiskey, you can do 2:1 to your club soda, or you can do 4:1 if you want it diluted. But what we're actually going to do is we're actually going to do 3:1. and it would help if I had my jigger again. Alright, I'll be back. Alright, I got my jigger. We are going to do 2 to 1. Now the highball glass that I'm using happens to be a 12-ounce glass. That's exactly what you want. There we go. I threw a little bit on the bar there, so we'll put in a little bit more. Now the great thing about the Fever Tree bottle is that it is just over 6 ounces. So you're basically getting your 3 to 1 as it is. Now you want to keep this as fizzy as possible. Don't want to shock your ice too much. So actually just pour this gently down the side, okay? That's got a great sound to it. And that's about right. There's a little bit extra left at the bottom there. Okay, whiskey, ice. Now I tried the one with the Toki with lemon. You'll see a lemon's used a lot, but I actually found that lemon, just the Toki's reasonably mild in flavour, and I found it just took away a little bit too much from the whiskey. Now, as I said, the Toki has quite floral notes, so the citrus that we're actually going to use here, and I think a lot of people like to use, is actually grapefruit. So this is red grapefruit. So I'm just going to take a portion of the peel off here. There we go. Got that. That was pretty thin actually. We'll go around the top there, but I can smell it. Let's drop that baby in here, and there we go. That is our Whisky Highball. It doesn't look like much, but shall we give this one a try, okay? You know what? I feel like being a customer for a change. Let's flip this around. Why not? Let's stand on this side. We're at the mahogany. If you ever wondered why it's called Hit the Mahogany, but there you go, we're at the mahogany now. And I have my Toki Whisky Highball. Let's give this a wee taste here. I'm going to turn it around a little bit. It's perfect. Why is it perfect though? It doesn't taste like watered down whiskey. Yeah, of course it is watered down, but it doesn't taste like it. What do I mean by that? Champagne. If you think about if you left champagne sitting out for a while, it went flat, you added water, it's going to be pretty nasty. But bubbly, fizzy, absolutely fantastic. This, you've got that gentle effervescence. Just tingles on the tongue. The whiskey's in there. It's actually pretty strong. Good flavour. And then with the grapefruit, just a nice little citrus hint without killing it too much. It just balances out very nicely. This is a very refreshing drink, and done properly, and not something that just tastes like dishwater. Yeah, that's good. Give it a shot. Alright, everybody. I've got 3 more to do, but anyway, for this one, arigato gozaimasu for watching this one, and kanpai, and enjoy your, if you can get your hands on it, your Toki Whisky Highball. Alright, I'm going to finish this one, and then we'll move on to the next one, okay? Cheers. Alright guys, so we just had the Tory, well I had it, hopefully you guys had it, but just had that one. As I said, I'm going to split this over 2 nights. If I'd started this earlier in the day I might have been able to get through all 4 at once, but you know what, we'll split it up. I'm going to play safe for once. It's a school night, you know. Oh, nice little tune there. Okay, we are going to do jump completely to the other side of the world. We're going to come over here. We're going to try it with a bourbon. Now of course if you're talking about American whiskey, you know, generally rye by default is what's used. When you say whiskey, that's where it, you know, started from, but bourbon itself, you know, it's an excellent spirit. It really is fantastic. And there's many of them that I really enjoy over here. And I actually am quite partial to Eagle Rare. to the point actually been having some challenges getting my hands on it. I went into one of the boozeramas, and lo and behold, they actually happened to have some, and I actually asked them if I could buy 2 bottles. You know, I didn't want, I was like, are you okay if I buy 2? And they're like, yeah, sure. So again, I think, stuff sometimes it can be difficult to get your hands on, but you know what, I got it. Anyway, as we said, chill, get your glass chilled down. I use some iced water here, the same as you would use for any other cocktail glass. Got that there. Ice. Get yourself a couple of king cubes, large ice cubes, whatever you actually want to call it. Oops, I got a bit attached on this one here, hold on. There we go. I don't know if that's going to fit in the glass now. Oh, it popped in. There we go, spot of luck there. Alright. Let's give this a shot with bourbon. I will admit that I have not had one of these with the bourbon. So we will give this a shot and see what it's like. Okay, so 2 ounces of our spirit. That's just going to chill straight away over the ice there. Okay, again, your club soda. You know the story about the water. I went through enough of it anyway, didn't I? Okay, pour down the side. This was well chilled before, and actually some people, what they actually do, will chill the spirit as well, just to make sure that you keep everything as cold as possible. Now this is going to have clearly a bit of a darker colour. The base spirit itself is certainly darker, so you can see here this one is a fraction darker. Just the bubbles in that. Now, what am I going to use for the garnish in this one? Well, we used the grapefruit for the toke. I found the lemon just cut it just a little bit too hard. I don't want to use lemon for this, but what does everybody like with a bourbon? You go for an old-fashioned. Orange is probably quite a popular one, so I'm actually going to try this with orange. Now, as I said before, I have not tried this before, but let's get a slice of our orange peel here. Smells great already. Oh, fantastic. Give this a rub around the top. Get some of that flavour on there. And there we have now our bourbon whiskey highball. Let's give this one a shot. I think I'll go around the other side of the bar again. Okay. Hey, Mr. Barman, what do you have for me? Another highball. Spooky. Imagine that. Alright. This one is the Eagle Rare. Let's give this one a wee taste then. It's nice to be on this side of the bar, definitely. Oh, you know what hit me straight there? Vanilla. Wow. Really came through. Darker, stronger. You know it's bourbon. Again, as I joked earlier on, a lot of people were like, how can you add so much water? So it's fair, you are diluting it, but you're controlling that dilution with the club soda, and it doesn't taste as though it's just diluted down flat water. Effervescence. You can almost think of this, I just turned this bourbon into a champagne cask vanilla bomb. It really is fantastic. And the orange, you know what? That was a spot of luck. The orange goes absolutely fantastic with this. It really does. Wow, that is, you know what? I have to say, that's a pleasant surprise. And there's still the bite of the bourbon coming through there as well. Still some of the tannin coming out of that. But it's soft, you got the bicarb of soda that's been added to that soda water, and it's this kind of softness that mellows it out at the end there. It's absolutely fantastic. I would actually recommend this to anybody. Give this one a shot, big time. So here we go, bourbon highball. Alright, cheers folks, enjoy this one. And next one, we're going to move on to the, I find it so difficult to say this, we're going to move on to the scotches, but we're going to move on to the whiskies. We'll save that one for later, but through the magic of editing, it will just appear as though it was only a couple of seconds after. All right, cheers. God, that's good. Okay, that's 2 down. We got 2 to go. What's up next? All right, we're going to move over to Scotland. We'll use one of the Scotches, or what I call just whiskey anyway. We're going to do a blend. We'll try a blended whiskey first of all, see how that one actually works out. You know the story. So, through the magic of editing, we'll get straight to having it almost finished, okay? Okay, so we've got the whiskey and ice. Instead of the Fever Tree, I'm actually going to try the Schweppes. Schweppes uses bicarbonate of soda exactly the same as Fever Tree does. I just want to give this a try, see how this one actually tastes as well, okay? So we'll slide this down the side of the glass. Protect as much of that carbonation as possible. And of course, as everybody knows, once you open one of these bottles, whether it's tonic water or club soda or seltzer or anything, it goes flat pretty quickly, you know. So I'll need to get through this one quite quickly, I think. Okay, that looks fantastic actually. That looks great. Now, this is a blend, a little bit lighter in flavour. As I said, you know, I think with the Toki there, I tried the lemon, too much citrus. So for this one, instead of lemon or orange or grapefruit, I'm actually going to try just a sprig of mint in this one. Okay? Alright, I think I'll serve myself this one and give this one a taste, alright? Alright, here we are. We've got the Johnnie Walker Highball. Let's give this one a wee taste. Thank you very much, my kind gentleman. Cheers. It's good, definitely. Bit on the club soda side of the house. The carbonation a bit coarser in that one, not as smooth, not quite as that kind of champagne sensation that you get with it. It's a bit coarser carbonation in that one. Still good though. Not as quite minerally. I don't know if there's less bicarb of soda in it or something like that. Just slightly different. Okay, so that's on the soda water side of the house. Still good though. Whiskey. It's definitely Scottish whiskey. Can taste that. It's coming through. It's the mint's nice in there. It's interesting though, now that I've had that, I'm wondering if maybe the citrus would actually work a little bit better in it. All in all, good, refreshing, can't knock it. We'll talk about ratings later actually, but I think, like anything, each to their own taste. But you know what? Good one as well, definitely. Alright, so if you're drinking a blended whiskey, get yourself a highball knocked up as well. Alright, cheers. Good. Okay, the last one. This is probably going to be the most controversial one, of course. You know, definitely anything with a single malt in it. And as I said, you know what? You should be open to try different things. I know, you know, in the past it was just like a splash of water in my whiskey or whatever. You know, the same in a bourbon or something like that. You need something to open it up, get rid of that astringency, the alcohol that can actually numb the taste buds. And even now and then, depending on what it is that I'm drinking, maybe just 1 cube. You know, here where I am just now, sometimes the bottles can get a little bit warmer and you just need something just to cool it down closer to what would be real room temperature. Still a splash of water, but a good, great cocktail. You've seen it, try it up in the corner here, but the penicillin is an absolutely fantastic use of Scottish whiskey. And I actually use the Ardbeg as a float on the top of that, and the Johnnie Walker as the main base on it. It's just a fantastic one. Alright, this one's going to the other extreme. Curious to see how this turns out. I've not had it, but I'm going to use the Ardbeg. Now anybody, you may have noticed this isn't the right cork on the top of it. That's because somebody in the house didn't realise it was a cork, and when they pulled it out they twisted it at an angle and snapped the cork off. Smoky, peaty, earthy, saline. You got the salt there from the islands. You got everything. That's just from the aroma, you know. Great expression, the 10-year-old here. Alright, again, you know the story. Glass well chilled, get everything chilled. This really should be Baltic. In all honesty, as close to freezing as possible. goes against the idea of drinking whiskey at room temperature, but for this, you certainly want it that way. As I said, as it warms up, you lose carbonation, and you're just drinking watered down whiskey. Chilled. Let's get some ice cubes in here. That one fits in nicely. That one fits in nicely as well. These are the King Cube trays. Actually, I'll put a link in the description below for the ones that I actually use. These ones were only half filled, so they'd actually fill in there. Full ones, they wouldn't fit in there. Alright, we've got that in there. Whiskey, 2 ounces. Remember, we're doing a 3-to-1 ratio. You can adjust that as you wish yourself. Of course, because somebody actually broke the cork. Yes, I know, the cork is floating around in here a little bit. I couldn't get it out properly. Okay. 2 ounces. Our big. With a little dash of cork. Okay. Back to the fever tree for this one. Club soda. Not just seltzer. You need those added minerals. As I said, these guys use bicarb of soda. Slide down the side. Keep as much of that carbonation intact as possible. And there we go. Just has a great effervescence about it. It really does. Great stuff, that. Alright, that. For this one, we've done grapefruit for the Tokay, orange for the bourbon. We did mint for the blended Johnnie Walker. Because this one is smoky, a little bit stronger, I'm actually going to go straight for the lemon. Of course, when you live in a house and you're doing cocktails, certain things happen to your fruit and vegetables. So I am actually going to use lemon peel in this one. Let me get a good slice here. I think we're going to need the citrus and the acidity to kind of cut through the whiskey with respect to this one. Okay. Around the top. Drop this little puppy in here. And there we go. Our big highball. Alright. I'm going to relax around the other side of the bar for the last one, okay? Right, Squire, thanks very much once more for another delicious looking drink. Let's get stuck into this one. Here we have an Ardbeg Highball. Oh my goodness. Sorry if this brings a tear to some people's eyes about what I did to this whiskey, but let's give it a shot, you know. Wow. It's a campfire. You know what, it can almost, the way it's bubbling on my tongue. You know when you poke a campfire and you get all those embers floating up with the heat, just these sparks floating around, you know, it's at night, and they just come and go in and out of the smoke there. The bubbles, that's actually what comes to mind while I'm drinking this. Just that smokiness. Now the lemon is right for this one. It just cuts through a little bit with the citrus. Taste it again. Underneath, I don't know, it's almost like a chocolate. Again, a little bit like the bourbon. You got the wood coming through, a bit the vanilla, or in the wood it's vanillin, but it's, you know, it impairs the vanilla flavour. As I said, a bit of chocolate, a bit of pepper still coming through. You know what? You can go and read the tasting notes in Ardbeg. I think for somebody who likes Islay malts and they're looking for something that's just a little bit different, this is really, really good. I know that this is an Islay malt that's in this. Of course I know that because I can read the friggin' label, but you know what? I could do that all night long. Definitely, definitely. Alright. What have we done? Done the Tokay with the grapefruit, Eagle Rare bourbon, the orange. Did the blend Johnnie Walker with the mint. And we've done the Ardbeg. I'm not going to rate these 1, 2, 3 or 4 because they're different. They're for different palates. If you are certainly a fan of bourbon, old fashions, the bourbon with the orange peel in it, fantastic. Went brilliantly with it, and the Eagle Rare did a fantastic job. Apologies to them if they're They feel a bit skittish about the fact I mixed it with tonic water. Not tonic water. With the club soda. The Centauri. It's a lighter whiskey, but it's got those floral notes and it pairs really nicely with the grapefruit. It's just completely different. You can understand why the Japanese, and maybe a lot of, I don't know if the salary men go for that one, but a lot of them, you know, drink that. It's refreshing. You're lowering the ABV, you can drink a lot of it in a night. It's just a great one. I'd love to try one that was ice cold completely. Maybe the Toki machine would do that. You got the blend there, Johnny Walker. I think that one deserves the lemon in it as well, not so much the mint. Mint it doesn't cut through it when you're actually drinking it. And then Ardbeg, definitely lemon in it. It's big, it's bold, it's smoky. It's a campfire that's billowing out of control on your taste buds. But it's fucking drinkable. And that's me saying that sober. So, anyway, whichever way you like it, whether it's a 2-to-1 ratio, 3-to-1 ratio, 4-to-1 ratio, club soda, don't cheap out on your water. As Fever Tree guys say, remember what I've just done here. 3/4 of the drink is actually mixer. So you need quality mixer in your drinks. Whichever you like, you drink it. Anyway, cheers guys. Enjoy your whiskey highballs. Cheers.